All right, so welcome once again to boot camp. Today is the last day of this 4-day session, and I'm your host today. My name is Rotimi Olawale, the head of training PO Prime Lagos, Nigeria. Now, you've had a roller coaster of training right from Thursday, right from the beginning, the foundational, class. Then you've gone to technical analysis, types of analysis, support and resistance, trend line, and a host of others. We've done a lot on that technical. So we're going to round it up tonight with fundamental analysis. There are three ways to analyze the Forex market. We have the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis, and the sentiment. We've done a lot on technical. Now, tonight, we'll round it up with fundamental analysis. Good evening, Ifyok Ekanem and Michael Ebong. All right, so we get started. So you can see on the screen now, the first slide. What is fundamental analysis? And we say that fundamental analysis is one of the strategic ways of analyzing any of the financial markets, whether it's a stock market, a commodity market, or the currency market. And it involves analyzing economic, social, and political forces that may affect prices in this market. And you can see right there, fundamental analysis in the middle of this diagram, surrounded by political events. For example, recently, there was an election in the United States, where Donald Trump won the election and became the new president of the United States. Now, that is a political event. Just also in Nigeria, just over the weekend, there was also an election in Nigeria in, I think, Ondo State or so. So anytime there is a political activity, it has what is called the effect of the fundamentals can affect the economy of the country. For example, when the US had an election about 2 weeks ago, if you were able to watch the chart, you discover that there was a lot of volatility because before the election, the two contestants were Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And there were a lot of school of thoughts as regards who will move the economy further between the two of them, who will have better foreign policy. All these things go a long way in determining the economy, who will go to war, who will prefer dialogue. All those things will determine how the economy of the country, will go. So political event is a major economic indicator when we're talking about fundamental analysis. Also, we talk about economic data. Under economic data, we have data released every month. For example, in the US, there is a data release every month that has to do with employment, and it's called NFP, non-farm payroll. In fact, that data is actually the biggest data in the Forex market globally, because every month the rate at which people get employed in the US can go a long way in determining how good or how bad the economy of the US is. Then we have global environment. Let's talk about a lot of global environmental changes, climate change, natural disaster, when we had a pandemic, and so on and so forth, how all these kind of events also can affect the economy of nations and even the global market. Also, we have the interest rate and inflation. So all this together, they are what we call fundamental analysis. Like in Nigeria now, there was a policy from the central bank, I think sometime last year, the Naira redesign policy, we saw how that affected the Naira. Even the current policies of the central bank, you can see that all these things, you don't trade them on charts in the real sense, but then they can go a long way in determining how the economy really runs. So they all fall under what we call fundamental analysis. So we say that fundamental analysis helps to understand the socio-economic factors causing supply and demand imbalance in the market. And once you understand the fundamental reasons behind price movements, you will be able to strategically manage your trading activities for profit. In that line, we can say that when the economy of a country is good, then the currency will have a higher value. And when the economy of a country is bad, then the currency will have a lower value. And that's just the truth. When you have the economy being good, for example, the United States dollar, with $1, you can buy a lot of things. Whereas if you have our own 1 naira, for example, cannot buy so much. So a country with a good economy, a small amount of that currency can buy a lot of goods. Whereas a country with a bad economy, even a large amount of the currency will not be able to buy so much. For example, if you put $100 between 100 naira, you surely know the one that is bigger. Yeah, in terms of numbers, 100, but the $100 now is worth over 173,000 naira, while 100 naira can't do much. So when the economy is good, then the currency will have a high value compared to an economy where the currency will have a lower value. So we say that fundamental events has great impact on our trade as it will make a stock, commodity, or currency stronger or weaker. So when certain economic reports are released or when certain fundamental events happen, the resultant effect will be that the economy will be stronger or weaker. And that is very possible. Now, we want to look at the impact of fundamental events on charts. So we say that the effect of fundamental events could last for minutes, hours, days, weeks, or months, depending on its significance. And also the effect of such news could result in trend continuity or trend reversal on our chart. What does this mean? When you have some fundamental data release or some fundamental events happening in the market, the effect of that event can last for sometimes a few hours, a few weeks, or a few months, depending on its significance. For example, when war breaks out, and as long as that war is sustained, the effect of that war will be seen on the currency of the country involved. That can span months and sometimes years, depending on the type of event it is. Whereas economic data may just span a few hours, a few weeks, thereabout. So it's the significance of a news that will determine how long the effect will last on the charts. And we see that some news will result into trend continuity, while some will result into trend reversal. Now, for the news that result into trend continuity, what that means is that if the news before, if the trend for that currency before, for example, has been a bullish trend, if the news comes out and is good for the currency, it means it will push the currency higher since the original trend has been bullish and the data that comes out is equally bullish. So it will continue going higher in that bullish direction. And the one that results in a trend reversal, it means if the trend for a currency is already bullish and the news comes out and it is against the trend, it's a bearish one, then such news can actually change the direction of the trend, which has been originally bullish, and turn it around to become bearish. And in that light, we always say that in Forex trading, fundamental can take note. In Forex trading, fundamental data, fundamental events can override technical analysis anytime, any day. Now, that does not mean that technical analysis is not powerful, but fundamentals can actually override it. Now, we'll look at the screen. We can see this diagram here. We can see the chart. And the writing below says, in 2020, oil price dropped as a result of a collapse in discussion between OPEC and Russia over proposed oil production cuts amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. This made crude oil to drop from $48 per barrel to $7 per barrel in a space of 1 month. Now, I tell you that this is a drastic, decline in the price of crude oil globally for price to drop from $48 per barrel to $7 per barrel within a space of 1 month. That is really, really massive. But for traders, it's an opportunity to take advantage of this high level of volatility to make a lot of profit in the market. Now, one of the characteristics of fundamental activity is that it comes with a lot of volatility. Sometimes the kind of volatility you experience with fundamentals can be more than what we experience when we trade with technical analysis. Another example here, we say that in March 2020, just a second. A second, please. Okay, so we said that in March 2020, there was a great increase in the cases of COVID-19. There was a great increase in the case of COVID-19 in Europe, and DAX, which is a German index, fell by 1,464 pips in 2 days. 1,464 pips in 2 days is a whole lot. You know the implication of that? It means somebody trading with as much as a standard lot will have made as much as $14,000 within those 2 days when this DAX dropped. It means somebody trading with 0.1 lot will have made $1,464. It means somebody trading with 0.01 lot will have made $146 per cent within 2 days. Now, you can't get that kind of volatility, on technicals. No, this only happens with fundamentals. And that tells you that if you have not been putting attention on fundamental analysis before now, then it's high time you began putting a whole lot of attention, on fundamental analysis, because it can be very, very volatile, and which can give rise to a lot of trading opportunities for us that are traders. Now we want to look at events that are traded, during fundamental analysis. And the first one we want to look at is what we call the non-farm payroll, NFP slash non-farm employment change, non-farm payroll slash non-farm employment change. Now we see that this report is a key economic indicator for the United States. It is intended to represent the total number of paid workers in the US. Yes, thank you for that, Justin Oche. Justin is giving a comment. He said, I'm enjoying the class, the value of trading with fundamental analysis. Thank you for that, Justin. So we say that non-farm payroll is a key economic indicator for the United States, which is intended to represent the total number of paid workers in the US. NFP is change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. This data comes out every first Friday of a new month. So every first Friday of a new month, the data will be released, and it measures the rate of employment, in the previous month. And this change in employment could lead to tradable opportunities. For example, the first Friday of this month, we had now at the PU Prime, we trade live events, 2 of it in a month, NFP and CPI. So every first Friday, we have a live trading session. So if you are just joining us for the first time today, get ready. Every first Friday of the month, we have live trading session where we trade live and people make live money, nothing audio, real money. So the first Friday of this month, we had NFP, and the data came out, according to what we analyzed, that the data may come out bad for the dollar, and it came out exactly like that, and people made money trading by selling the dollar. So this is the biggest news in Forex trading. I'm telling you, it is. So it measures the change of employment, the rate of employment, in the United States. So if you have not been taking note of NFP before now, then after this class, begin to pay a lot of attention to NFP. Now, another tradable event is what we call the crude oil inventory. The crude oil inventory. And we say this is an inventory report that measures the change in the number of barrels of crude oil held by commercial firms. These reports are published weekly on Wednesday specifically. This report has more effect on the Canadian dollar because of its large energy sector. And the aim of this inventory is to measure the imbalance between supply and demand of oil. This is another important news you should pay attention to as a trader, especially if you want to be trading crude oil. There are some people over time that major in trading crude oil. If you want to trade crude oil, then you need to pay a lot of attention to this particular event, crude oil inventory. So we are having more people joining us, and that's a good one. And next one we look at is the Consumer Price Index, CPI. And we see that this data is released monthly from different countries. This data measures the price of goods and services. It gives us an objective view, increasing or decreasing. CPI affects monetary policy decisions directly. Hence, its report has a significant impact on prices. Now, we also trade, like I said, two news we trade live at PU Prime, NFP and CPI. So always watch out for these two. CPI always comes out sometimes a week or 2 weeks after NFP, but it's equally a volatile event, just like the NFP. If you're just joining us, this is PU Prime, and we're having our boot camp. Today is the last day for the 4-day boot camp that we've been running since Thursday. Now, the other event you also need to pay a lot of attention to is what we call the official bank rate. Now, this one comes with different names. Some countries call it bank rate, some call it cash rate. Okay, Indo-Jessit Basi, it didn't mean you just logged out or you just logged in. Whichever one, just make sure you're on board. Okay, and don't forget that the link to the recorded version will always tomorrow. So peradventure you join us a bit late, don't worry. You can always watch the recorded version so that you can be, up to date with what we have taught, earlier on before you joined us. So we're talking about official bank rates, and we say that this is when central banks of major economies around the world release the minutes of the meeting deciding the bank rate. Examples of these economies include the Federal Reserve in the United States, the ECB, that's the European Central Bank, the BOC, that is Bank of Canada, the BOE, the Bank of England, and the BOJ, the Bank of Japan. Then we have the gross domestic product. The gross domestic product is also called the GDP, gross domestic product, GDP. And we say that this data is published quarterly and is the widest measure of the overall health of the economy. GDP is a measure used to confirm whether an economy is expanding, that is economic growth, or contracting, that is recession. So if the government wants to know whether the economy is contracting or expanding or contracting, that is growth or recession, then they fall back on the data for the GDP, which is the gross domestic product. So the technical definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. And recession ends as soon as we see a quarter of positive GDP. Now, another important news event, is what we call the press statements. The press statements. Now, press releases such as FOMC meeting minutes, Federal Reserve Chairman speech, ECB President speech, and a host of others are important fundamental events that can change the price of an instrument such as a currency pair. This is because such statements usually borders monetary policies, and you can take advantage of such press releases and study their content before taking a major trade decision. Now, these press statements are speeches released by the central bank governor or members of his team. It's actually them addressing journalists, maybe after a closed-door meeting session, then they may come out and address the journalists about the outcome of their meeting. Now, these speeches are always policy statements. They are always a very important statements that can affect the economy. So whenever such speeches are made, it can lead to a lot of volatility in the market. But I always advise my students to be very careful of speeches because unlike the other data that we have mentioned, the other news events we have mentioned, there are data to back them up. But for speeches, mostly you may not have a data to back it up. So it can be a bit tricky to trade. So sometimes it may just be good if you can avoid them, except you've learned how to find your way around it. Or you can watch the news on television where the specific information about the statement is being made. Then that can give you an insight into which direction the market is expected to go when such speeches are made. Otherwise, personally, I will advise that you just avoid them. Then we have the trade balance, and we say that trade balance is the difference in value between imported and exported goods during the reported month. Now, it's also called the net import, and a positive number indicates that more goods were exported than imported. And export demand and currency demand are directly linked. So this one talks about trade balance. It talks about importation and exportation. Now, aside this, there are a few other news events that are also tradable, like the other economic data, like producer price index, services price index, and services PMI, and the manufacturing PMI. These are also data that come up quite often in the forex market. So these are just a few of the news you will always see, to trade. But then we are just laying a foundation on what fundamental analysis is about. Now we're taking it a step deeper by, introducing you into how to actually trade the news. We've talked about the type of news, how the news originates. Now we want to take it into how to trade the news, because I believe that is what is most important. The essence of the training is to show you how to trade news. So we said that the news represents great profit opportunities for forex traders. By news, we mean various economic data release. Every major economy regularly publish statistics like the GDP, inflation, unemployment rate, and so on. And if you trade forex during the times of these releases, you have a chance to make a lot of money. And that's the truth. And that's why we trade NFP and CPI live. Reason is because there's a lot of volatility expected during this period. If you have ever attended our live trading session, within a minute, the market will have gone like 40, 50 pips and you've made your profit, because market can be very volatile. And that's why, I know many of us are new. That's why we provide that service to you at PU Prime. We guide you. We give you pending orders, when to buy, take profit, the stop loss. But that's just a live session. One of the things you will learn in this class tonight is actually how to do these things by yourself. So if you have any other news that catches your fancy apart from the NFP and CPI, you can take advantage of the training tonight to learn how to trade by yourself. See, at PU Prime, we don't will only give you the fish. We actually teach you how to catch the fish. So just relax and sit back, and let's go into the next session of this class. So now there are many sites where we can get all this economic data. A lot of sites. You can see the link to so many websites. You have forexfactory.com, dailyfx.com, investing.com, FX Street, and a host of others. Time will not permit me to read all of them. But the one we pay more attention to at PU Prime is the forexfactory.com. That is what we use for our analysis. So why do we use this website? Number one, it's one of the most visited websites in forex trading. It's like the first or the second most popular website in forex trading. So if you have not been visiting this website, then from tonight, start paying attention to the forexfactory.com. You can see the name there, Forex and Factory combined together. So at this point in this training, I like to train on how to use Forex Factory Live. So I will switch over now to my Google page, to my browser rather, so that I will show you how to get to this website and how to use this website to trade news. So I'm going to flip over now to my browser. So I'm on my Google page now, and on Google, I will type, now let me know this before I go forward. If you can see my Google page, my Google browser, please type a yes, so that I can be sure we're all on the same page. Can you see my blank screen showing Google? Okay, Gift is responding. Any other person? Isaac, I need a third person. Gift again, no, I need someone. Blessing. All right, good, thank you. So on Google, I'll type www. I'll type Forex Factory. Now I've typed it many times here, so you can see, it's just showing right on my browser. So I'll click enter, and the browser is up. Okay, thank you. I can see a lot of response. Thank you for that. So you can see now, this is the forexfactory.com. This is what the home page looks like. Now, okay, today Sunday, you can see this is the area we're actually looking at, but it's currently blank because there's no fundamental events, over the weekend. So I'll go back to the data for last week. So let me just flip back to like Friday, Saturday, Friday. Okay, good. So this is the Friday data, just 2 days ago. So how do you make use of this website? The first thing you do when you get to this website is that if you are logging in for the first time, there's a possibility that the time on your browser or your device, the time on the Forex Factory page on the browser and the time for your device can be your phone or laptop, may not be synchronized. Now, the reason is this website, is designed in such a way to capture the time of different countries around the world. So it's not set by default to your time zone. You may need to synchronize it to your time zone by yourself. Now, on my local device tonight, my time is 7:30 p.m. I don't know if you can see that. I just circled it below. If I go up now, let me refresh so that my local time, good. You can see up here now, I'll circle this region. You can see this red section. That is the time section on the Forex Factory page. Now, there's also another section here that shows us the time. There are two locations for time on the browser, on the Forex Factory page. Okay, so we need to synchronize our timing. So in order to do that, what do? We'll click on the time. So I'll click on this time, which is currently showing 7:30. Now you can see here, there's a drop-down menu, the time zone, GMT +1, West Central Africa. So as we speak now, if your own time is not on this time zone, if you come to the drop-down menu, maybe you're on plus GMT +5, GMT +10 or whatever, you need to push it and, you need to adjust it to GMT +1, West Central Africa. And once you've done that, you click Save Settings. So once you click Save Settings, then it means you've already reset the time zone to our time zone here in Nigeria. So if you're watching tonight and you are not living in Nigeria, that means you need to set the time zone to the time zone of the country where you are residing at the moment. Why do you need to do this reset? Because, for example, for us in Nigeria, the GMT +1 is our time zone. If a news is to be released in the United States is about 6 hours behind us. If we don't regulate this time, then it means we are going to miss that news. You understand? So that's why you need to set it to the time zone of the country where you are living at the moment. So once you've done that, you've done the first thing you're expected to do on this website. Then the next one is, how do you use this website? Now, on this website, you can see here the date. Today's date is showing, okay, this is on Friday. So Friday is 15th. If we're actually checking the data for today, we'll actually see it as today's date. So you can see here the date section. This is date. Let me use another color. Okay, so we can see date. Under the date section, you can see Friday. So the day that the data is going to be released comes under the date section. This data is for Friday. So everything we're seeing here was for Friday last week. So you can see the time also, the specific time that each of those news events was to be released. You'll find it right here. So for Friday, November 15, 3 a.m., there was a data for this currency, CNY. There was another data for 8 o'clock for the British pound, another data by 2:30 p.m. for the United States dollar. Now, the next section talks about currency. So the currency you're trading. Now, this currency here talks just about the base currency. You remember under the terminology, when you have a currency pair quotation, you have the base currency and the quote currency. The base currency is the first one on the left, and the quote is the second one on the right. So the currency here talks specifically about the base currency. So the base currency here is, first one is the CNY, second one is the British pound, and the third news was released on the United States dollar. And the third thing here now is impact. Now, I want you to pay a lot of attention here. Under impact, you will see that there are envelopes. Let me use the word envelopes. You have the brown envelope. Some call it brown, some call it orange. I think we should just go with the orange. There's the orange envelope. There is a red envelope. Now, there is a third one. And I'll click on this filter to bring it out. Normally, we don't, or let me say personally, I like to filter it out because it can lead to a lot of distraction. So I'll come back here, click on the yellow, and I apply filter. And you can see that there are quite a number of the yellow boxes. All right, so we started again. We have the yellow box, the orange box, and the red box. So this yellow box, if you highlight it, if you bring the browser, the cursor closer, it shows low impact expected. So any news you see that has this yellow box, we call it a low impact news. Low impact in the sense that the impact is negligible. The impact is not significant at all. The impact does not have any much effect on the market. So they are called low impact news. Then the next one is the orange, which is labeled as medium impact expected. So these are called medium impact news or medium impact events. Now, while the low impact does not move the market, the medium impact from the word medium can actually move the market somehow. It can move the market some 15, 20, 25 pips, like that. But the biggest one is the one in red, the red box. You can see high impact expected. This one can move the market 30 pips, 50 pips, 100 pips, 200 pips, as many as you can have it. So we have three types of impact. The low impact, which is labeled yellow, the medium impact, which is labeled orange, and the high impact, which is labeled red. Now you can see that there are a lot of this yellow, so many of them, but to be honest, they don't have any significant effect on the market. And because they can cause quite some distraction, personally, I like to filter them out. I like to remove them. So I'll come to this section labeled filter. You can do the same if you wish, but if you feel you want to leave it, it's at your own discretion. So personally, I will just come to this filter, click on filter and check it. And I'll click apply filter and it's gone. So I'm only leaving the medium and the high impact event because those are the ones that we really have much business trading. We don't have any business trading the low impact event. Our business is trading the high impact event. Now, there's another thing you now need to know here. Okay, I think we should still go a step forward. I'll come back to that. If we go back to this filter, you will see that there is now this ash color. Now, we don't have that on the screen at the moment because there is no news for that. You can see there's ash color box here. What does the ash color represent? Anytime any of this country is going on a holiday, maybe a bank holiday or a national holiday, you will see it, you will see the ash colored box. It will come out to represent that the country is going for a holiday. And anytime a country is going for holiday, it's always advisable to be very cautious with the currency of that country. For example, if we had seen that the United States here is having the ash colored box, for Friday, it would be advisable, even if it's possible, to just avoid trading the dollar because it means the dollar may not be stable for that day. It may have erratic movements. So these are some things you need to know as a trader. All right, so we'll go to the next section. You can also see the labeling for each of the news. You can see the GDP here. We have that's for the British pound. We have the GDP, the gross domestic product, prelim GDP quarterly, core retail sales, and so on. So it's good you know the details of this news. Now, Forex Factory is so straightforward that even if you're a newbie, they've provided you with at least all the information you need to get started to trade news. So for us to know what this news is all about, we'll come to this envelope. The envelope section is labeled as detail. So we'll come to the gross domestic product for the British pound, and we'll click it. Once we click, the message will open. So the source. Now, the source of every news is very important. The source of this news is Office for National Statistics. So this one is not just from a blogger online. You are getting the data directly from the government agency in charge. So it's not one influencer on TikTok that is posting it that you cannot verify. No, these are verifiable data. Office for National Statistics. So you can go to the website and verify, because you want to be sure of the source where the news is coming from. So if it's coming from a verifiable source, then it means you can trust the news. You can trust the data that will be released. Now, what does this news measure? It measures the change in the total value of all goods and services produced by the economy. What is the usual effect? Now, these are the two important things when you want to trade news, what the news is all about, and the usual effect. These are the two key things you know. In fact, the most important is the usual effect. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Take note of that. Actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So you can do the same for every other event. Let's look at prelim GDP. Is a change in the inflation adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. Again, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Let's look at the dollar core retail sales. Change in the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Let's look at Empire State Manufacturing Index. Level of a diffusion index based on surveyed manufacturers in New York State. Actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Good. Now, so what does this really mean? Actual greater than forecast. Now we'll come to this other section of the screen. You can see here we have the actual. Here we have the actual, the forecast, and the previous. All right. We also have the graph, but let's ignore the graph. Now, the previous talks about the last time or the last month. Now, some of these reports are released monthly. Some it's not exactly monthly, maybe every 6 weeks, some more than that. So I don't want to use the word monthly. So previous just means the last time the data was released. That's a better expression for it. Any last time the data was released is the previous. Now, between the previous and now, what happens is that economists will come together, analysts will come together to analyze the data and now have a projection for the next data. All right. Again, the previous is the last time the data was released. So between the last time and the next date of the new release, the analysts will analyze the economic data of the country to determine a forecast ahead of the new release. So the analysts are the ones that come up with these forecast figures. For example, core retail sales, the previous was 1%. The analysts analyzed or they gave a forecast of 0.3%. Now, usually this section labeled actual does not always contain anything before the data is released. This whole section normally is always blank. When you open the chart for this, the table for this week, you will see that everything here on actual is blank because the data is yet to be released. So if the previous here is for core retail sales is 1%, the analyst gave a forecast of 0.3%, then we now wait for the date and the time when the actual will be released. Now, this is a past data. So on Friday by 2:30 p.m., the actual was now released. Now, from the details that we read earlier, we said that if that actual greater than forecast means the data is good for the currency. In other words, it means that if the actual is less than the forecast, the news is bad for the economy, is bad for the currency. So when the news is good for the currency or the economy, it means the currency will strengthen. It will lead to strength in the currency, which means the currency will buy. Anytime you have actual greater than forecast, it means you are looking for opportunity to buy the currency. And when you have actual less than forecast, it means you are looking for opportunity to sell the currency. So you can see that they've already given us the cheat code to use to trade news on the Forex Factory site. So we'll come back again to this core retail sales from the United States dollar that we're looking at. So the previous is 1%. The forecast is 0.3. You can see the forecast is lower than the previous, but they were not really dealing much with the previous. Now, the forecast is 0.3%. Then the actual now came out as 0.1%. Now, the information under the detail says actual greater than forecast is good for the currency, which means actual less than forecast is bad. So here is 0.1% is less than 0.3. That means that we expect the dollar to sell. You can see me showing the red arrow, the downward arrow showing is going to be a sell because the actual came out less than forecast. So the moment the data is released and you see that the actual is less than the forecast, you can sell the dollar. And that's why for the dollar, you can see the base currency is what we have put here, which is USD. That means you can sell either USD JPY, USD CHF, or USD CAD. Reason, because the actual came out less than the forecast. I hope you got it now. Actual came out less than the forecast and you can sell. It's just as simple as that. Yes, I know I'll still explain deeper. Now let's go to the GBP, the British pound, which is up, and the news is the gross domestic product, GDP. Here, the previous was 0.2%. The forecast by the analyst is equally 0.2%, but the actual came out less than the forecast at minus 0.1%. So that means that we are looking for, not even we're looking at, we're going to sell the pound. Which pound pairs are we selling? GBP USD, GBP JPY, GBP CAD. But what I will not encourage you to do is to now dump all of them. Just take one or two. You know, don't just say, oh, they said when it happens, sell. So you sell almost 6 GBP pairs. No, just take like one or two and you're just okay. So you can see here that there are two news events for the GDP that happen simultaneously. The GDP monthly, the prelim GDP quarterly. So forecast is 0.2%, forecast is 0.2%. The actual is less than the forecast at minus 0.1%. Here, the actual is again less than the forecast at 0.1%. Now, when you have two events and both of them are red like this, it means the market will sell more. That's what it means. If it is one, it's good, it will sell. But if it is two, it means the volatility will be stronger. It will go more in a sell direction. Now, on the other hand, now let's look at the other news here. You can see the USD here. The forecast is 0.3%. The actual is 0.1%. Now, here, the forecast is 0.3%. The actual is 0.4. That means the actual is greater than the forecast. Now, the third one, the forecast is minus 0.3 and the actual is 31.2. Now, in this case, you see that we have one where the actual is less than the forecast. The other two, the actual is greater than the forecast. So there's a high tendency this will buy since we have more actual greater than forecast compared to one, which is actual less than forecast. So that's how to use the Forex Factory site to trade news. It's very simple and very, very straightforward. All right, so that's all for this section. I'll go back now to the slide and we'll continue. That's all I want to show you on the Forex Factory. All right, so the next thing I want us to know now is that while what I've said is important, you know, it's the first level way to trade fundamental events. There are times when, you know, the results may not come out as expected. Now, as a trader, it's always good to have options, to filter your trade. One of the things we do at PU Prime is that we filter our trades as much as possible. And for you to be a good Forex trader, it's good if you can combine both technical and fundamental together to arrive at a trading decision. Now, the information I showed you on Forex Factory is very, very true. Very, very true. But like I said, there are times it may have its limitations. So one of the best ways to trade news is to filter it with technicals. And in the last couple of days, we have focused a lot of our attention on technical analysis. So the same information we use to analyze the market as a technical trader, we're now going to combine it to trade news effectively. So how do we do that? Now, you've gone to the Forex Factory, you've seen the forecast. Forecast is, you know, the projected data. But then, do you know that you can actually ahead before the news is released? Because on Forex Factory, you are not going to know what to do until the data is released. And it's something we have seen about Forex Factory these days. If the news is to be released by 2:30, by that 2:30, the actual data may not come out immediately. It may take some seconds or close to a minute before it comes out. And the market will have started moving. So how do you may end up missing opportunities. So one of the best ways to trade is to analyze ahead and take a position ahead of time before the data is released. And that's what I want to show you right now with news trading strategies using technical analysis to determine fundamental outcomes. So the first way to do that is to use what is called higher time frame directional bias. So in this instance now, what we'll do is that we'll go on our charts. For example, if the news is coming out on the US dollar, you can look at the dollar index. The dollar index is that index that's just cut across all dollar pairs. It gives us the direction of the dollar. If the dollar index is bullish, then it means that all the major currency pairs where the dollar is the base currency will be bullish, while the anti-dollar pairs will be bearish. So dollar index is just cut across all the major currencies. So you now go to the dollar index on the higher time frame like the daily time frame or the weekly time frame, and you determine the directional bias. So like the example we have here, the market is in an uptrend. In an uptrend, the market forms a series of higher highs, and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Then the next wave of movement will be the higher high. So if your trend is an uptrend, comes back to touch the trend line before the release of the news, that means the next wave of movement we're expecting is uptrend. So with that, you can have a bias in mind ahead before the data is released. Okay, since the next wave of movement is uptrend, that means I'm expecting the news to come out as actual greater than forecast so that I can buy the dollar. I hope you got that. If your trend is uptrend, I mean price must come back, at least must be around that trend line. Not that price is already in the middle, no. If price is around the trend line as at the time the data is to be released, then you can hold a bullish outlook. And from that bullish outlook is if the data now comes out as actual greater than forecast, then you know that the dollar is going to buy. So before the release of the data, you can analyze that, okay, with what I'm seeing on the dollar index, then I hold a bullish outlook ahead of the release of the data. People always ask me this question when we analyze news. We'll say that, okay, we're expecting this to happen to the dollar. We're expecting the dollar to go bullish. We've said that like 15 minutes before the news is released. And when the news is released, it comes out like that. And people wonder, how do you guys get to know that? Or do you guys have information from Wall Street in the US? Of course, we don't. We only use the knowledge we know and our experience in the industry. And that's what we're sharing with you freely, in this training tonight. So you can use directional bias, to trade the news. Another thing you can use to trade the news is support and resistance levels. So we say from technical analysis, at resistance level, we're looking for opportunity to sell. The resistance level is the seller's zone. This is resistance. We're looking for sell. Resistance, we're looking to sell. And at support, we're looking to buy. At support, we're looking to buy. So you can check the chart, the daily time frame or the weekly time frame. As at the time the data is to be released, where is price? Is price on a resistance level or a support level on the daily time frame or weekly time frame? If it's at a resistance level, then it means that you are expecting the data to be actual less than forecast so that you can sell. If it is at a support level, then it means you're expecting data to come out as that you can buy. And it's just as simple as that. And the third one is that you can always look also at other technical tools like your candlestick pattern and chart pattern. Very important. So you've done some technical tools on that, the candlestick and chart pattern. So you may see some chart patterns like a head and shoulder. Head and shoulder will point you into the bearish direction. So that already gives you an insight into where the news may actually go. This is a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder. So if you see the kind of pattern ahead of a news, you know it's going to drop into a sell. So that means you're expecting actual less than forecast for you to sell. And if it's a double top pattern, you are looking for opportunity to also sell. You understand? So that's how we now combine technical with fundamental to trade news effectively. Now, with a combination of this technical and fundamental, you are guaranteed to have a better result, with news trading than just using actual greater than forecast and actual less than forecast alone. This is more advanced and can help you filter the trade better. Okay, I think that will be all for the news trading tonight. Okay, so how to trade currency news. If the actual data release is less than the value of the data forecasted, this means the value of the economy is weak. Hence, it's a bad to sell such currency if it's a currency and buy such currency if it's the forex factory interface would yeah factory. The color forex factory has made it a lot easy for us to trade news. When the data is red, I'm back to forex factory now. When the data is red like this, it means a sell. It automatically means actual less than forecast. So you don't need to start calculating in your head whether the actual is greater than forecast or less than forecast. There will be no time for you to do all that calculation. So once you see the color, if it's a red, red means you are selling. Green means you are buying. Red is a sell, green is a buy. Now there is a third color for this, and that actual is equal to forecast. Now I can see I've circled the first one up there. Now I can see, now sometimes it may not be exactly the same data, exactly the same figure, but very close. Here you can see previous is 5.4%, forecast is 5.5%, actual is 5.3%, and they are all labeled black. That means there is no significant difference. So when actual is greater than forecast, you buy, and that's color green. When actual is less than forecast, you sell, that's color red. When actual is equal to forecast, then it will come out in color black. Now, in that instance, if you don't know what to do, I will advise stay out. Though you can still filter further with your technical because the technical sentiments may still take over. But if you are confused on what to do with actual equal to forecast, just stay out of the market. You will still be safe. You see, there are three things we do in trading: we buy, we sell, and you wait. There are times we wait and stay out if you are not sure of what to do. And when actual is equal to forecast, sometimes it can be such a situation where you may just want to stay by the side and watch. If I encourage that if you have actually equal to forecast, just stay a little, stay out of the market a little and see what will happen. Now go to the technicals and see if the market is now going in line with the technicals, maybe price at the support and is now buying, then you can now buy. But don't just jump into any actual equal to forecast trade. All right, so that's going to be all for tonight. And this brings us to the end of this bootcamp training. I'm seeing some comments here. I want to read a few of them and I will take a few questions as we close the 4-day boot camp. Okay, Indo Jesse is saying thanks for the breakdown. All right, Ifyok Ekanem, just a second. Ifyok Ekanem is saying, I only trade gold. What should I do about that? Okay, if you're trading gold, then you only trade news that is related to the dollar because gold is XAUUSD. So for gold, the dollar is a quote currency. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, it means you are going to be selling gold because dollar in gold is on the other side, is on the opposite side. So if the data comes out good for the dollar, in which case the dollar is buying, then gold will be selling. If the data comes out bad for the dollar, where dollar will be selling, gold will be buying. So you'll be doing the opposite of what the dollar is doing if you are trading gold. So that's in response to what Ifyok Ekanem is asking. Justin Ochi, wow, I've gained so much of value from this lecture. I actually only trade price action. That's a good one. But with this class, I got to see the dependability of trading with fundamental analysis as the market will many times go in the direction of the news. Thank you, PU Prime. Yeah, thanks for that comment. That's from Justin Oche. Any other one? Okay, Indo Justice is saying he has a question. You can go ahead with a question. Benjamin, I love your teaching. Thank you for that. Okay, UK Isong, pardon me if I didn't pronounce that too well. Good evening, sir. Can someone move all these details, including funds from MT4 to MT5 on the same PU Prime platform? Yes, you can do that. So it means that if you have just MT4 before, then you move MT5. Now you can go to your back office or your dashboard on puprime.com, and from there you can transfer funds, in between your accounts. Now, transfer of funds can only be done in your own account. You can't transfer to a third party, but you can transfer from your MT4 account to your MT5 and the funds will be moved. So if you want to be trading with MT5, just transfer your funds from MT4 to MT5 and you can start trading immediately with your MT5 account. Osene Gabriel, your teaching is amazing. Thanks for that. Onyele Benjamin, I love your teaching. Thank you. Indo Jesse Bassi, is the demo account market same as the real account market? Yes, both the demo account and the real account, they are in the same market. It's the same market. The difference is that demo account is a practice account. It's a simulated account. It's a broker that put the funds there for you to trade. It's not real money. So when you trade with a demo account and you make profit, yeah, it's profit, but you can't withdraw it. And at the same time, if you lose the money in the demo account, we can't hold you because it's just a practice account. But live account on the other side is real money. So when you make profit in a live account, you can withdraw it. You understand? And if you have a loss in a live account, you will feel it because it's equally real money. So it's still the same type of account, but demo is not real, while the real account is a live one actually. But it's the same. What I mean is that it's the same market condition. So the demo account, you don't say because it's demo, it's still the same real life market condition that a live account is, subjected to. That is what the demo account is equally subjected to. Okay, Gabriel Monday, you want to learn forex trading? Please, we don't encourage dropping of numbers on this group. So if you want to reach out, you can reach out, to maybe your account manager or reach out to us on the WhatsApp group from where you got the link to this class. So please, we don't encourage dropping phone numbers on this on this Zoom session. Amos Odiri, thank you so much. Combining the fundamentals with technical is an eye-opener for me. Good, you gain something. Okay, somebody's asking a sensitive question here. Nazifi Amino, thanks for your good work. Please, on which time frame will you enter a news trade? Well, we encourage you can use a 15-minute time frame. Reason is because 15 minutes is closer to the time when the news will be released. It's better to enter on a lower time frame, which is closer to the time the news will be released. So 15 minutes will be good. Sometimes some people even go as low as 5 minutes, but I will not encourage a 1 minute. That would be too low. 15 minutes is just still very much okay. Michael Ebon, please kindly drop the video of the Thursday and Friday for us who couldn't attend. All right, we'll ensure that is done. Oseni Gabriel, can we have someone to trade on our behalf? Now, PU Prime doesn't trade on your behalf. However, we have a platform called the Copy Trading Platform. Excuse me. Now, on the Copy Trading Platform, you have professional traders who have experience in the market. So what happens is that you can connect your account to the account of these traders so that as they trade on their own account, the same trade is showing on your own account. So this is not a case of you giving your money randomly to someone to trade for you. No, these are people who have their own account. They are active traders. Because sometimes when you give your money to people to trade for you, sometimes they don't even trade your account directly. Some don't even fund your money on the broker platform. But here, we have mitigated against all those kind of situations. You open an account with us, you come to the Copy Trading Platform, you identify a trader, your account manager can guide you in doing that. You identify a good trader, then you connect your account. Now, please, it should be noted that the people trading on the Copy Trading Platform, they are not staff of PU Prime. They are independent traders just like yourself. So you need to exercise caution in connecting your account. But like I said, your account manager can guide you to get that done effectively. Chinwei. Okay, thank you, sir, for the breakdown. I've not heard it like this before. That's why you need to come to PU Prime. So if you're right on the platform tonight, you are not yet, a client with PU Prime. Somebody is saying, Chinwei is saying that he or she has not, I think Chinwei is a female, she has not heard it like this before. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of the value we offer at PU Prime. So you're there tonight, you are still undecisive. Huh, don't miss an opportunity of a lifetime to learn Forex trading for real with PU Prime. You can see we've been doing this in the last 4 days, and this is the same thing we do at our physical training sessions every week, back to back, all through the year. So you have a platform that is concerned about you learning how to trade Forex. We're not just handing you over bits and pieces, we're giving you a lifetime skill. And the only way to reciprocate now is to go to our platform, go to our website, puprime.com, open a live account and fund and start trading. You have been equipped with the knowledge to trade in these last 4 days. We'll make sure all the videos are available. You can watch the videos and you can start trading. And also tomorrow morning, don't forget by 7 a.m., we're going to be having our analysis. We do analysis 2 times in a day, 7 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. So 7 a.m. tomorrow, we're going to drop a link in your WhatsApp group. And for those in Telegram, you get this in your Telegram channel. Join us for weekly analysis where we will show you what will happen for the week, the currency pairs to trade to make money in the market. So this is the place to be. This is the place to be. Just make sure you have a funded account, and I tell you, you are going to make money. Let me just say that because our joy is that you're profitable as a trader. All right. Okma Wisdom is saying that's a good teaching. Thank you for that. Indo Jessis, is a demo account same as a real account market? I've explained that. Demo is a practice account. Real account means you have real money. Okay, Michael Okene, I'm a Nigerian based in the US, but this is really nice because I understand, but please help recording. Definitely will make the recording available. Okpeyemi, thanks for good teaching. Okay, I think most of these questions have been repeated or comments. Okay, Jesu Tola Olusegun, good evening, sir. I really appreciate your amazing teaching. Sir, please, how are we to know when to expect news? Just simply go to forexfactory.com. Now, as a trader, the first thing you do every morning when you wake up is to go to forexfactory.com to know the news available for the day. So you already know ahead the time the news will be released. And the beauty of it is that it can help you plan your day. In fact, today being Sunday, you can actually go ahead and know the news available for the entire week so that you know the ones you are trading and you can plan your time. Even if it's news alone you want to be trading, then you can plan your time to make yourself available because you understand that some of you, maybe you have a job that is very busy and you don't have so much time to do technical trading, staring at charts. You may not have that opportunity. But with news trading, you can plan your time. So that's one of the benefits of trading news. Gift Omalicha, will you be holding a teaching like this again? Definitely, but then we'll communicate that with you, when we're having such kind of training again. Indo just says, can't we trade today? Today is Sunday, the market is not yet open, so we can't trade today, Sunday, wait till Monday. The markets will be open by 11 p.m. tonight, so there's nothing to trade at the moment. But then the cryptocurrency market is open, so if you feel you want to trade crypto, you can go ahead to check that out. But currency market, doesn't open on Sundays. It opens 11 p.m. Sunday night, but then the best time to trade is going to be on Monday morning, tomorrow morning. That's why you should not miss the morning analysis tomorrow, where we'll be showing the currency pairs that will be moving. Thank you, Godswill Jacob, for that comment. Say you've been doing a good job. Emmanuel Ago, sir, the news trading, how about an institution where we have multiple news coming from one pair, e.g. employment claims, CPI, retails, with different colors? How do we trade? That's a very good question. And that's where going over to the technicals is the first thing. With the technicals, you already know the long-term bias of the market. So even if the news comes out conflicting, eventually after the conflict, the market will be quiet and markets will now still go in the direction of the long-term, bias. That's what usually happens. So if you have different news and some of them come out conflicting, that's what happens. There will be some instability, after which there will be clarity and market will go in the direction of the long term. That's the benefit of checking the higher time frame. What instrument is against currency pairs? I don't get that question, Chikwendu. But the thing I know, which I believe you're trying to ask, is that the base currency, I'm on forex factory now. Your focus is going to be the base currency. If it's a GBP news, it means you're looking at GBP USD, GBP JPY, GBP CAD. Those are GBP pairs where the GBP is the base currency. If it's the dollar, you're looking at the USD JPY, the USD CHF, the USD CAD, like that. Idowu Egbeyemi, thanks for a dynamic way of teaching. Thanks for that. Sorry, I couldn't meet up with day one. Where is your offline office located? Okay, our offline office, we have two offices in Nigeria. We have in Lagos and Abuja. Abuja is our head office for Nigeria, and the address is at Work and Connect Building, 50 B2 Ukiwe Street, Jabi, Abuja. And the Lagos address is at 54B Adeniyi Jones Avenue. That's Agos Executive Lounge, 54B Adeniyi Jones Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos. So it depends on where you're located. Can visit any of those offices. Do you teach arbitrage too? No, we don't. Can the slide for this course be sent to the Telegram? No, we only send videos. We don't send slides. Okay, I think I need to round up. The questions just keep coming. Do you do offline teaching? Yes, we've said that many times. We have physical training Tuesdays and Thursdays, both at the Abuja and the Lagos office. And we do have online trainings, Now we're going to we're through with boot camp this week, today. So later on, we'll get you to know when we'll have regular online trainings. Chikoze Obiechefu, how do I fund my account? Okay, you reach out to your account manager to make it easy for you. Your account manager will provide you with our local bank account details, which you can transfer Naira into, and your trading account will be funded in dollars. That makes it a lot easier for you so that you don't need to go and start looking for dollar. So I will encourage you to reach out with your account manager. Now, if you don't know your account manager or you don't have an account with us, it's not a problem. Just go over straight to our website, www.pureprime.com, open an account, and your account manager will reach out to you and will guide you through the entire registration and the funding process. Blessing Samuel Collins, I want to fund with 10. I think you mean $10. Wow, I would say that what you get out of trading is actually what you put into it. So if you want to get good returns, it's good to have a good fund, Now, $10, to be honest, I will tell you the truth, is a very, very small amount. The minimum amount you can fund on our platform is actually $50. Now, $10 can go if you have a cent account. So except you want to start with a cent account, which is very, very small. Otherwise, I will encourage you to push up your deposit to at least a $50. Now, the higher you put in, the better. You can do 100, 200, 500, even $1,000. The bigger the capital, the bigger the profit you also make. Rosalind Lazaro, great value. Thanks a million. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. I keep having the question, can one trade with $10? To be honest, that is small. Really, really small. If you're okay, can I've explained this to you on gold. If you are trading gold, gold is pegged against the dollar. Gold is XAUUSD. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, color green, you are going to be selling gold. We don't have, on the forex factory here, we don't have a section for gold. I told you the forex factory is focused on the base currency. So for gold is XAUUSD. So if the news comes out good for the dollar, it means you are selling gold. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, it means you are buying gold. So good for the dollar means the actual comes out greater than the forecast. In this instance, it means the dollar will be buying and gold will be selling. So you are selling gold if the news comes out good for the dollar. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, that is a red, then you are buying gold. So that's how it works. Okay, thank you. Justin already responded to that. Okay, I think we should just end here. I keep seeing a lot of comments. How do we apply this teaching to crypto trading? You can apply it, but crypto trading with news, no, the data here, you can't use the data for forex strategy as in news to trade crypto. But what you have learned in technical analysis can be applied to crypto trading. All those trend lines, support and resistance, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, they can be applied to crypto trading, but not this news trading. Is there any fundamental factor why USD CAD keeps rising and still at the, I'm not getting what you wrote here, ATH right now? Please, can you explain what you mean by ATH? That's Femi Olabode. I don't think I understand that. How do we know our account manager? Now, whoever reached out to you from PU Prime, if you have gotten a call from a staff of PU Prime, that is your account manager. And if you don't have any account with us, then you will not really know your account manager. So if you don't have an account with us, I will encourage you to just go over now to our website. I'm typing it in the comment section. Go to our website, www.puprime.com, and open a live account. Then your account manager will reach out to you. But then if you are here and somebody has called you before, please reach out to that person. That is your account manager. Femi Olabode, ATH, all-time high. Well, all-time high, personally, I look more at support and resistance. So if it's at a resistance level, I can expect a decline. Having an all-time high, market can always change. Market dynamics can always change. That doesn't really have much effect, except you have a barrier at the top, like a resistance or a psychological level that will guarantee, a decline. This is an amazing teaching combining technical with fundamentals in gold, new knowledge. Thanks for that, Emmanuel. All right. I think I've answered everyone. So I want to thank you for being a part of this training in the last 4 days. We'll ensure that all the videos are uploaded to our YouTube channel and the link dropped in the WhatsApp group so that you can have access to them. I will encourage you to watch them over and over again, but most importantly, begin to take steps, begin to take action. And the best way to take action is to have a live account with PU Prime, funded account, and start trading. Christmas is around the corner. I believe you need money for Christmas, and you can get that with PU Prime. You know the current exchange rate now. So if you can make $100 between now and Christmas, that can go a long way. And you can even make much more than that. That's even on a conservative level. So you don't have an account with PU Prime, go ahead and open a live account. You have an account already. Make sure your account is verified. Very important. Make sure your account is verified and funded, and you can start making money. Now, if you're on the platform, you say, oh, I want to do this, but I'm busy. I have a busy schedule. Then reach out to your account manager to guide you through how to do what is called copy trading. I'm typing it in the comment section. You can see it right now. So reach out to your account manager and tell him or her you want to do copy trading. Copy trading is hands-free. It means you don't need to do anything. Your account will be connected to the account of a professional who will trade. As the person is trading on his account, the same trades will be taking on your own account. So if the person is in profit, definitely you're going to be making profit also. And you can make between 10, 20, 30%, depending on the profit margin of that person. All right, so I'll be signing out here. My name is Rotimi Olawale, and we'll see you again. Don't forget, 7 a.m. tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. tomorrow also, we have both the morning and afternoon analysis session, and it's the same throughout the week, Monday to Friday. So now you've gained all the knowledge you need to start trading. Now at the analysis session, we're going to implementation. We analyze the market, and you can pick your trades from there, and you start making money from Forex. Thank you, Justin. We love you, Mr. Olai. I love you too. All right, I'm signing out here. Take care and have a wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.